here's the starter box. I can leave it over here. I don't know if you want to get a low angle to show the entrance holes or something. Okay, and then essentially what you do to introduce food to a nest is you just put it in position and push it in. Let's do this one. Actually, you have to get the thing properly trimmed so it'll fit. I don't know, this one's been trimmed. It just goes in like that. And sometimes you push them in all the way. One that's been properly honed down will fit all the way in and look more or less like this when it's in place. Fits right in like that. By honed down, I mean the base has been honed. This one's been shortened by critters chewing on it, so it's been outdoors for several months. We'll show how to hone one down later. Okay, now we're going to get the actual making process. Show you how to make these things. Exactly when you were coming, because I didn't have the wax. Okay, we start by putting water in a saucepan, because you need a double boiler. Wax can catch on fire with an invisible flame if you heat it above the boiling, much above the boiling point of water. So it is crucial to use a double boiler. This procedure is completely safe only if you use a double boiler. Now we need the wax. That's a good question. Where have I hidden the wax for myself? Okay, I guess this part we can own it.
Rolling.
Yeah, this is the wax left over from last time. As you can see, we've used quite a bit because the thing's partially full. So we're going to have to put some wax in. One source of wax, of course, are scraps from last project. Another source of wax is the wax you can buy in the Green Star, chopped up into convenient pieces. But before I start on the Green Star wax, let me just use some last session waxes. I think that'll give us enough. So just throw them in. Make sure they've had plenty of time to dry since the last one. Here's some pieces that look like solar panels on the Hubble telescope. The explanation for that will become apparent shortly. Okay, you can turn off.
Rolling.
Okay, now this just goes into the thing and put it up to melt. Of course, when it melts and makes some more space, we'll put a little more in because we want it to be quite full. Now, another thing we will need, and I guess I should set it up now, is a container of cold, and I mean cold water. So I have to find what I'm going to use for my container. I thought I had one. I thought I had this one. It's preempted for something else. But since I have time, I don't know if you're shooting me or not.
Should I cut? Just say
yeah,
cut. Here's another feeder filled overflowing with water.
In real life, we'd use B-hat. Even in the animated cartoon, they'd only show it for a few seconds. Dip some tubes. So stage one is making the wax tube. Now to make the wax tubes, we got this tube stick here. It's essentially a trap nest like the ones the bees nest in, except the hole goes all the way through. And there are little nicks on the side of it to know which end is which easily, and the grain helps you know which end is which. There's a tunnel that goes all the way through. That's essential for extricating the wax from the wood. Now, first thing is turn the heat off. Let the boiling water act as a constant temperature bath to keep the water hot, and the wax hot, I mean, sorry. Now, this is some very cold water, which will stay cold for a long time. Now, what you essentially do is you dip this in the water, leave it for a while. Actually, I should have stuck this in a few minutes ago. It gets pretty wet pretty quickly. You wet it for three reasons. It helps the pieces of wood stick to each other. Two, it prevents the wax from sticking to the wood because the wax is a hydrophobic material. And of course, it makes the grain in the wood much more visible, which is the third reason, which helps us piece the pieces together after they've been separated to extricate the wax tube. Now, the whole purpose of this exercise is just to make the wax tube that'll be the sides of the cup. The base comes later. Now, when your fingers are wet, they can handle the hot wax without being damaged. Now we're going to do 3 or 4 dippings into wax with dipping the water in between each one. And you just go in and out. It's of course hot and it could hurt you, but with the cold water shields you. Of course, just stick it back in the water, the heat dissipates. Because the wax is hydrophobic, it's dried almost instantly. So you go in for a second layer. The reason for several dippings is to give the wax sufficient structural strength. Otherwise, it would have insufficient structural strength to handle the vicissitudes of usage and handling and such like.